Hey guys, it's Classy Girl 18 back again with another stream. The trial is about to start. Yeah, the trial's about to start for the trial of Nagito Komaeda. Nagito was brutally murdered. His unpredictable death has left a looming shadow of mystery in the hearts of Hajime and the others. Who is the traitor? What was the clue Nagito left? Will they be able to see the light within the darkness between hope and despair? Yeah, that was hard to read. Right, we have a skill! I hope we got the SP for it. I've got 62 SP and I've got 1 skill. Well, that's better than having no skills. She actually got a skill before the end of the trial. Right. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna need to check those throughout the trial. Thank you. Yeah, you really wonder why did you change it down to kind? And I'm just like, I love playing on mean. I always play on mean.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
Oh god, I don't have to read again.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Look at Nagito's class, that's kind of cool. Shooting cold rice? No, you eat rice warm. What are you doing?
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person...
You gotta lie, look at Hiyoko stand next to Hajime. You can't lie, that's actually kind of rude. Like, I get she was short, but you don't have to put the stand in comparison to their height. Like, that's a bit rude.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Oh, Monami stood up, she's not tired anymore.
Oh my! Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
Uh-oh. She's gonna beat the life out of him.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
Uh-oh.
Chesto!
Oh. I feel like she's about to punch him back.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one?
That's not fair. Come on.
This will be my final blow!
Oh, she's in the bin again. She just hit him like with every attack he's ever given her.
It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
I feel that, Sonia.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
I mean, I don't think... Yeah, or... What was it? JoJo reference? Ah. You see, the thing is... Kazuichi's going around like, oh yeah, you're the traitor. But he could just as equally be the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it! Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
Good to be. The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... Oh, okay, that was very quick.
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to shut him up! I'm telling you, they were torturing him!
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito!
That's
So
contradictory.
that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first!
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds...
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds...
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up.
What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Definitely the bomb's hiding place! If so, the suspect
I can't see a degree.
is whoever found the bomb first!
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence.
Didn't
There's
say
no
so.
way I'd torture someone.
Why did the killer have to torture Nagito?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds...
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
Oh wow, okay. That was a complete guess, but okay, sure. We'll go with that.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything.
Fair point.
If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Really? Phase 2 and you're already throwing this at me?
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid? Oh god.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Kazuichi seems unusually confident. I should ask him why
Like
that
you
is.
said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was... You obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down!
Oh, come on.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk. But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down!
Yes!
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Exactly.
Pay attention, this is how at first, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
Oh, damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down! Like you said, if Nagito's mouth,
This isn't
you
Lily's
obviously
first
assumed he
sentence,
couldn't
I'm not
talk, but that
right now.
was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito. and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, he obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down! But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it... First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
Nope.
Crap! Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got him... Then, after they killed him...
That makes literally no sense.
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
Nope. Oops.
Crap! Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
That does not match.
Crap! Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
Allow me to cut through those words!
There we go.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
There's no blood underneath his mouth.
Who cares about the duct tape? You might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? You have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
Probably.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and
The only person that crafted that was still alive at the time was probably Nagito. I'm not
Destroying evidence?
Who could have done that?
Nagito.
Was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
even if it was only a coincidence.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
Like,
Oh, Miss Sonia, you have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
Wait! The reason for the fire, huh? They're right, we need to clear that up first.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Some kind of setup was used to start a fire, so what could it be?
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the
But it
crime
can't be
scene,
sound
right?
waves, because the MP3
The
is
killer
not.
used some kind of
Those one of the
setup.
juice bullets.
He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
No.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
These things are very simple.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter. The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Oh, hang on.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil?
They probably just based on the shape of it can stand up.
If they tipped over, it could have ignited the curtain.
Probably wrong, but
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
no. Okay. Oh. That's always fun.
We will never give up!
Is that right though? I got a game over for that. Is that right? Because I got a game over for that.
The
Did I
direct
miss it or
cause of the
something?
fire was
Hang on.
the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
So you
The
can
killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil?
It wasn't a time
Probably
up,
just
it's
threw
like a
Based on
full-on
the
you
shape of that oil,
failed.
it can stand upright while the
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
No, I think it's wrong. So close.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found at the
no,
killer
okay.
used something lit the
It's the
curtain
same
on
as
fire
well.
with.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an?
They probably just threw it
Based on the shape of that, it can stand upright.
If they tipped over the, it could have ignited the curtain.
some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with.
Or perhaps opening the door caused.
There we
I
go.
agree with that.
Why do we always seem to agree with Sonia? I was one statement off, okay? Leave me alone.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
It's the Gundam talking.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second, and from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
And then they caught the curtain
But
and the
wouldn't
curtain
it be
lifted.
obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect. Did they? Oh yeah, the music.
I see!
Sound.
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm talking about the music. And as if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. With those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings as they opened the door to the warehouse. Huh? It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it, it's a trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Akane ignored their protest and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, I see, so the problem Yagi's talking about is...
I see! If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Nagito! Because he was still inside the warehouse.
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse, there's only one person who could have done that. Well, that's fairly obvious.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
That is the only person it could be.
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
He could be also the culprit.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
Like, if that is suicide, that's a pretty sick way to kill yourself, I'm not gonna lie.
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
They could be.
But Nagito might do something like that. don't you think?
She's got a point.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're right.
He's Nagito, are you sure?
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss?
Because just like, what?
That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
You sure? Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but this is Nagito Komaeda you're talking about. I feel like I'm overlooking something. It's still the best thingy soundtrack. Trial soundtrack. I'm not going to shut up until the end of the game. This is the best trial soundtrack, hands down.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Maybe, I don't know. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
This is Nagito
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to
That's
say.
obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
No, even.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Not doing much.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You know what?
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth?
I'm just gonna.
Or if you use your front tail?
Okay. I don't know about that. Coach Nakamura looked pretty strong, but well, I never saw Nagito, but I'm pretty sure he's a.
Crap! To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but
That's definitely a dirty joke.
tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
I literally have no idea what this could be.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
No. Thomas, any ideas?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It's
It'd be
16 and
impossible if
Peggy,
you
so
were
I'm
by
gonna say
yourself.
M. But I'm
How
really
about
not
if
sure.
you use your teeth?
Or if you use your front tail.
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Thomas, please.
Actually,
Any
tie up your
ideas? Oh. I can't really think of
We will never give up!
Okay.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Oh, of course.
How about if you use your teeth?
I didn't think about that.
Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
I tried with the survival knife. I'm not actually sure. I'm going to try the band rope.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Nope. It's not the band rope. I'll be back in a second. Thomas, it was seemingly a good point.
To actually tie up your own arms and...
No, that's wrong!
Yes, Thomas. Thank you.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms.
Oh, it was
The
just
rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
the proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap.
I see!
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane!
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Sonia! That's even worse!
That's definitely wrong.
Thank you for Yuhiko, no! So yeah, we don't do that kind of thing around here.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
Guys!
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know.
Oh, No, another
It's
bullshit.
impossible to
I
stab
can
a
tell by the
knife
music,
into
it's
your
coming.
right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me. Give me back that Benjamin.
Why did she try to charge me? Now she wants the money back. What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it!
Hangman's Gambit or Logic
If
Dive.
it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
Oh, it's gonna be a Hangman's Gambit or a Rebuttal Showdown. Oh no, Rebuttal Showdown's when it cuts through. This is yeah, this is a Hangman's Gambit coming, I think. A way to save yourself with the right hand using only your right hand. It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. Oh, it's a no such debate. Okay, I thought a Hangman's Gambit was coming.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Be tough.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Yeah, that's not his ultimate talent.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that.
I did that really quickly. I'm proud of that.
The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
If a doll's hair grows in general, you've got a problem.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Ryuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
The spear.
The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
This is Nagito, though.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I'm sorry, but you can't not laugh at that.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Kazuichi!
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I'm so sorry.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For a reason.
Oh my god.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear.
I'm sorry. Oh my
It'd
god.
be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand, while your left hand is
I
tied
can't
up.
help but laugh.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monome's sassing me.
Hey, you go, Monami.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted. and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
He's always suspicious.
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
Of course it doesn't.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer. But suicide is unimaginable.
You sure about that?
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
She's got a point.
Everyone, working together.
She's right. We've made it through several ordeals up until now by doing that. Then, even now...
Alright, let's do this.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
I'm still laughing about
When the
the
spear
thing.
stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth? Or maybe he used his front tail.
Oh, for God's sake, can't I?
I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
What are you saying?
Thank you so
The
much.
blushing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
Oh my...
How did Nagito stab himself? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong.
It really doesn't. Because there was like blood everywhere.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain. But it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
It's an unnatural bloodstain.
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito's left hand doing with the blood splattered?
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Akane.
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right. That's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
I see!
I'm good.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding onto the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, The joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Nagito's hand.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
Probably.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. But from there, how would he stab himself in the stomach with the spear? I feel Hangman's Gambit coming on.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
Never heard of that, but let's go with
That's
it.
a long plan name.
Yep.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So if it's just before that, that's it. Could it be? The state of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding to the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure out where the spear was and what state it was in before it stabbed Nagito. Knew it was coming. It had. Oh, it's a logic dive. I thought it was a Hangman Gambit. Oh, okay. Oh well. We were wrong. Where was the speech from? It's the only place it could have been. Because... Oh, they've changed this now. It was beneath him. The spear would have been facing upwards. And if it was in his left hand, it'd be at a weird angle. You gotta like predict this, it's quite difficult to predict. Oh, seriously. I actually like Magic Dive, it's just really annoying sometimes. Besides the what else was a fucking Nagito? It was most like... Oh my god, hang on. I'll put this together in a second. I'll tell you my thought process. Oh no. I'll tell you my thought process in a minute. Oh, come on. Hello. Hi, and I'm okay, thanks. Right. Thought process. I'm gonna go through that because I got the time. Right. If it's above him, and if you remember that one singular bit of blood on the thingy girder, if it's above Nagito, and I can't remember what the other question was, but it couldn't have been beneath him because otherwise the blade would be facing upwards, and it couldn't be in his left hand because otherwise it'd be a weird angle, so it must have been above him. And there's the blood from the spear girder thing, which means that it must have been dangling by the cord above him. That makes the most sense.
We will never give up!
And it was all correct as well. And then just ran out of time. We got this. Oh, I always rock into things. Oh, really? Oh yeah. Gotta be quick now. Oh. That was an awfully timed jump. Come on, still got time to make it. Made it!
It's all coming together!
Nailed it.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him.
Oh, thanks for the sub.
And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Makes sense.
He really committed suicide?
Well, I mean,
Like
it
that?
just... Yeah, I mean, he went a twisted way about it. Like, he could have... Like, to go to all that trouble... It's a bit extra.
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear? that spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
That's cruel.
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
How?
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
Yeah, like, that's a bit... That's... wow.
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Yeah. You're not sure you'll buy it? Why not? All the clues fit, it makes perfect sense. And this is Nagito Komaeda and Danganronpa we're talking about. Lots of things are possible. Jeez, and I'm starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely understand his capacity for malice. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I had forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. You said he would reveal the traitor, right?
You probably have missed something because this trial's been going on for an hour already. Yeah.
Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Thomas has got a point. Nagito's a bit of a psychopath.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
Yuhiko, sense your mouth, please.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so he'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
1 second. Eye-patch keys is getting hasty. Fuyuhiko can be like that, like, especially in the first 2 chapters of the game. He was really, like, evil. He said a lot of things. He was evil to everybody, and then he got character development, and now he's actually really nice. But a bit feisty.
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
No.
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You're right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
I've got a point.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh?
Let me tell you, there's not a class trial that lasts for an hour. That's a promise.
That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right?
First of all, there's been no panic talk action and no closing arguments, so this trial can't end. Second of all, no. It's not over.
It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
No.
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer?
No.
Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Yes, Hajime. Is it pink hair? Oh, Chiaki. Calm down, Monokuma.
Hold on. Why?
Wait, who's going for it? You mean Chiaki? Is this... Yeah, it can't be Sonya. Yeah, Chiaki.
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more.
Going for it.
I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Oh, Kazuichi. Oh, I forgot Kazuichi existed for a hot second. Sorry, Kazuichi. Yeah, I genuinely forgot that Kazuichi existed. He's going for it, yeah. I forgot about Kazuichi for a hot sec. Sorry.
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense. And it relates to Nagito's death.
Not the bottle poison, is it?
Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
The bottle of poison? Something related to Nagito's death, and it's something that even he couldn't have messed with.
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
You gotta draw all conclusions before you do anything, like voting. Something related to Nagito's death, a piece of evidence that he couldn't mess with. It's one of these two, I'm pretty sure. Let me check this one first.
Crap!
No, it's wrong. Okay. Yeah, Kazuichi, that's pink hair. Yeah, I know who you're on about now.
Crap!
No. Okay, well, what couldn't he mess with then? Well, he obviously couldn't mess with the Monokuma file, but that's... He messed with all of the... No! The only thing he couldn't have messed with in that list is the Monokuma file. Because he was already dead by the time that got revealed. I'm gonna try it.
I see!
What?
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it makes sense because he was already dead by the time it happened, but like... He messed with the oil lighter because he caused a fire with it. Michael hasn't played Michael hasn't played any of the Danganronpa games. But yeah, he messed with the oil lighter. He started a fire with it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
He used a domino effect to light a curtain. He had that pre-planned. Was there? What was suspicious about it? The victim is Nagito Komaeda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed into his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki's worried about is the time of death. What's hidden in the... Oh, okay. What? It has to be time of death. It's time of death. No, it's not enough letters. Oh my gosh, this is... 7 letters. Oh, cause of death. Oh, wow. I feel like the trial's going to be really quick, and I don't know why. It's not going to be like the Gundam trial, which took 5 hours. I feel like this is going to be like a 2-hour trial at most. I feel like this is not going to go on for long. The fact that they were voting within an hour suggests that this is not going to be long. Oh yeah, he couldn't have messed with the cause of death. That's true. Because it could have been a spear, it could have been anything. Like, he had that many wounds, it could have been anything. Now Nagito is trying to make us suffer. This Hangman's Gambit, what is it with so... We do not need this many letters, like...
We will never give up!
Okay, I don't understand this. Okay. Basically, you have to spell out what the thing is. So, for example, for this is cause of death, and you got to put the letters together and, yeah. A. But if two opposite letters collide, then... Combine more than two of the single. I know. I knew that, but like, I think you know what? That might actually be really useful. I know what I might do actually. This might not be. This might be foolproof. This might be really stupid, but
give up!
Hangman's Gambit. This Hangman's Gambit stuff. I hope we don't have to do too many Rebuttal Showdowns, because if this is what Hangman's Gambit is like, I am scared to see what Rebuttal Showdown is like. Well, we've only had one so far, so we might be alright. But I'm very scared. More than anything, I think I'm going to be Yeah, if you're thinking about playing Danganronpa, this is quite late into the game where like everyone's dead. Well, this has to be possible because I've seen people complete the game, but I hate things that are too like tough. Like this is really tough.
We will never give up.
Looks like we might be here for a little longer than I thought we'd be. What does Curse's special move do? Yep. This reminds me of Gundam's Rebuttal Showdown, and I am shaking.
We will never give up!
Well, if this is anything like Gundam's Rebuttal Showdown, we're going to be here for a while. It doesn't need to be so many letters though, like that's what I don't get. How could you expect somebody to get to that many letters at once and not quickly? Email said it was something else. User greatly appreciated. I needed a skill that would help me with Hammond's Gambit. A bit late for that now.
We will never give up!
The customer's kind of slowly, I'm not gonna lie. Where's the tape? Got it! Got it! Oh, that was so close. Got it.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
That's true. Right, where's the save button? We need that right now, because I'm not doing that again. That was so close, it was pretty much like breathing. Right, okay. Cool, that's saved now, so we don't have to do that again. Thank God. Not only is there a spear stabbed into his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not?
You sure?
The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Yep.
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth! Here he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Nikon's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
The time of death for the last two, and then now it's cause
Are
of
you
death.
saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place!
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations. And that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Exactly, this is Nagito.
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote?
No.
I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying, but if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Aww.
Bless you, Jackie.
Splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair, he said he was yearning for that. Then, this situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. That marks the halfway point of the trial.
No, no!
I'm gonna take a short break, 1 second. With the game's trial intermission comes my trial intermission also. I'm gonna take a break. And I will be back in a bit. This is Classy Girl 18 signing out.